Giving it to those oil companies you were talking about earlier. At least you're with me on that, right?
I mean, but that's quite a big difference.
They give us oil. I agree. We should have no subsidies, but the oil companies deliver.
But there's something extraordinarily different from handing Solyndra a $500 million check and allowing the oil industry to do the exact same thing that other manufacturers are allowed to deduct in the United States.
Mattie,
go ahead.
I'll tell you the difference.
Okay.
These are little growing companies. The oil industries are the most profitable corporate entities that man has ever known. They don't need it. These little growing guys do. And they're going to help us.
Look how sleazy the Solyndra $500 million loss was. A Tulsa billionaire, George Kaiser, was a key Obama backer. He raised about 100 thou, made several visits to the White House. And this is the guy who's behind Solyndra.
Listen, I'm not defending Solyndra. There's sleaze bags in every industry, and they may be one of them. But let's don't give up this idea of doing things as a society that'll make the world a better place. Don't
even though, look at this list of companies that taxpayers paid for that have gone bankrupt. Abound Solar, A123 Systems, Enerdell, a subsidiary, Enter1, Range Fuels, Beacon Power, and so on, one after the other that went broke.
And you look at all these too, they have ties all back to a Democrat administration. You know, like this is
not all, but
not
many.
all, but most of them do.
They're visiting the White House.
You know, actually, it's interesting.
And the most open, honest administration in history that we were promised.
John, it sounds terrible when you read this funereal list of these companies that stumbled. In fact, I think if you look at it in a broader context, the failure rate of companies like this far less than in the private marketplace, right?
What?
Not every investment succeeds, whether it be a government investment or a private investment, but that doesn't mean we stop investing in our future.
But why should we have the government ensuring that some of them succeed, putting their thumb on the scale and saying, well, these little guys over here that you talked of earlier are somehow better than the other startups that are trying to gain traction in Silicon Valley that only have the private market to supply them with capital?
You know, in the end, we make judgments about it. You can't just throw up your hands and say, I'm not going to do anything. I want roads, a military, prisons, and maybe welfare, too.
We want all those things, too. We just want to do them better and cheaper.
No, less and less and less is what
But if we did all those things, most roads are local, that would be 1/50th of the budget. I'm okay with that. What about the other 49%?
Good. Dream with me. Don't just throw it out.
We're losing the debate because as we debate, government grows. You win.
You know what? Vote the rascals out.
Thank you, Ellis Henican and Mattie Duppler.